All right, folks, we're going to show you how to make a really fantastic cocktail. This is called the Brandy Old Fashioned, also known as the Wisconsin Old Fashioned. And I personally was not aware of this cocktail until relatively recently when some coworkers who grew up in Wisconsin told me about it. So let's go ahead and show you all the ingredients that you need. First thing you're going to need is some brandy. You're going to need some maraschino cherries, some Angostura bitters. You're going to need a soda of some kind, and we'll talk about some of the variations here. I've got Sprite. You're going to need some sugar cubes, and then I got some olives over here, which I'm going to use to garnish the drink, and you're going to need an orange. So first things first is we're going to cut a nice slice of orange here, about, I don't know, quarter-inch thick, let's say. So we'll take a slice, and then we'll slice that slice in half. We'll put that into there. All right, next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna throw a sugar cube in there. We're gonna come in here with one of our maraschino cherries. You can use, of course, the classic neon red ones, but these smug cherries are pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and use one of these. Throw that in there. Okay. Then we're gonna need our bitters. Of course, you can do this to taste. I like to do about three good swigs there of our bitters. And then you're also gonna need, for this drink, a muddler. I don't have a muddler, so I'm using this spatula, which has kind of a flat bottom. So what you're gonna do is muddle up that orange and cherry and sugar cube into a nice little slurry here. Kind of get that sugar nice and dissolved. Get the orange juiced. Oh, got a little squirter there, Charlie. And some people say don't push on the rind, but I do because I think there's some of those nice oils in the rind. All right, so that's nice and smashed up there. So the next thing you're going to do is go in there with your brandy. I would say, I don't know, about 2 ounces of brandy or so. Let's do to about there. All right. So here at this point, I'm just going to give this a little stir with a little of that juice from the cherries as well in there to kind of add a little bit of flavor. All right, then we're gonna get in there with our ice. We'll fill the ice up. Not all the way to the top, but close, leaving a little bit of room, because the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put on our floater. So this is where the variations come in. So you can do a sweet, sour, or press version of this. So sweet would be something like Sprite or 7-Up. Sour would be Squirt, like a grapefruit soda. And then press would be just plain soda water. So we're gonna use Sprite here. We'll go ahead and pour our floater on. All right, so at that point, the cocktail is done, but it is not complete until you add your garnish. Now, the traditional garnish would be, you could take one of those cherries and one of these oranges, put it on a toothpick, and that could be your garnish. What I like is to take some nice olives here. And it seems like it wouldn't work, but it really does. The brininess of the olive and the sort of bitterness of the olive kind of helps add something to the cocktail. So go ahead and put that in there. And there you have it. The Brandy Old Fashioned. Oh, I'm dripping here, Charlie. All right, let's take a taste here. Ah, tastes like nice people.